rain bread from heaven for you, and each day the people shall go out and gather enough for the day. And then Moses said to Aaron, say to the whole congregation of the Israelites, draw near to the Lord, for God has heard your complaining. And as Aaron spoke to the whole congregation of the Israelites, they looked toward the wilderness, and the glory of the Lord appeared in the cloud. And the Lord spoke to Moses and said, I have heard the complaining of the Israelites. Say to them, at twilight you shall eat meat, and in the morning you shall have your fill of bread. Then you shall know that I am the Lord your God. May God add a blessing to the reading and the hearing of all these holy words. Amen. Will you pray with me? Bread-making God, may the words of my mouth and the meditations of our hearts prepare us to be guests at your table. Amen. So this morning's reading from the Gospel of Luke begins with an awkward silence. It's easy to miss when you drop into the episode midstream, but it's there just before verse 15. As Allison, the other Allison, our narrator this morning, just pointed out, the setting is a dinner party. Jesus has just observed that the guests are all vying for seats of honor at the table. And so he takes the opportunity to remind them that humility is a virtue. And then he says, when you give a banquet, invite the poor, the crippled, the lame, and the blind. Cue the awkward silence. Now, it may be that his dinner companions are merely taking a minute to absorb this odd proposal, or it may have been them shifting anxiously in their cushions, avoiding eye contact and wondering how to respond to this unconventional teacher with his shocking reversals. Then as now, there were cultural norms, social strata, people you expected to see at parties and those you did not. One of the guests finally speaks up. Blessed is anyone who will eat bread in the kingdom of God. And maybe he's trying to ease that tension and smooth over Jesus' decidedly edgy comment, #anyone welcomed. Or maybe he's just trying to change the subject. So, Jesus, how about them Mets? Jesus responds, as he so often does, by telling a parable about another banquet and other guests, and the ridiculous list of excuses that these guests give to avoid attending the party to which they have all been invited. And we know they're only excuses because, as the kids pointed out, they are ridiculous. No investor buys a piece of land sight unseen, or purchases a set of oxen without first trying them out. So why all the dodging? Well, according to social convention in first century Palestine, invitations were issued ahead of time so that prospective guests could check out the arrangements. If the right people weren't on the guest list, or proper preparations had not been made, a guest could decline to attend. And in the case of Jesus' parable, every one of those invited guests snubs the host. Which begs the question, what is wrong with this party? What were they trying to avoid? Was the man's chef a bad cook? Was the host known for having lumpy lounge pillows? Was there a better party down the street? Or did they already suspect that this particular host was